Hi there, lovely stitchers. I hope you're all well. So, for this week's episode of Through the Garden Gate, we're going to be looking a little bit more closely at Frogspawn. Yes, Frogspawn. Sorry to those who have a phobia of frogs and Frogspawn, but I have lots of it in my garden pond at the moment. So, we're going to be looking at this technique called crushing. It's completely new to me, and I first came across it at the NEC, and it uses something called Solifleece and Bondaweb. So I'll be showing you how to do that from start to finish with a little bit of, shall we say, not problems, issues in between. Also going to show you how to do the little pond itself and the border with some mixed media. So I do hope you enjoy and do stick with me to the end, please. Enjoy. For my frog spawn, I'm going to use a technique called the crushing technique, and it's a textile technique using Solifleece. I'd never heard of it, never seen the technique or anything until I came across them at the NEC Sewing for Pleasure show. I bought a metre of it, and I thought I'll have a go with that at some point. Goodness knows what I'm going to do with it, but I was really intrigued by the technique. And then the other week, I saw Marianne having a go at it, and she was really super excited, which got me thinking, right, what can I use that for? And of course, through my garden gate, I have a little wildlife pond. So I'm going to use this to create some frog spawn. Not entirely sure whether it's going to work. I can't see why it wouldn't. So just for those of you who don't know, it's called Vaseline Solifleece. Okay, I will put a link into where you can get it in the description below. You'll also need a bit of Bondaweb. Again, I'll pop a link in for that as well. So I'll just leave that there a moment, just in case you want to, what do you call it? Search it. It's not ever so expensive. I think it's about £5 for a metre, something like that. So this is the Solifleece. And as I say, I've never come across it before. And I believe it's got two sides to it, but I can't work out which is which. I feel like that might be the side. One's slightly smoother and one's slightly rougher, but gosh, I'm not sure. So that's my first layer. Then I've got Bondaweb. I'm not quite sure what you call it in other countries. I was told, but I can't remember. But what it is, it's a paper-backed, sticky. It's used for hemming and things like that. Wonderweb and things like. So that's like a little glue layer on some paper. But I'll get rid of the paper. I'm going to pop it onto this is like a glue. So if you're hemming something, you can stick fabric to fabric. And then I've got just some white organza, which I'm popping on the top. I'm going to just pin mine together at intervals. I'm thinking my frog spawn will sort of scrunch down. So I'm going bigger rather than. I'm just going to pop a pin in there and then one, and I'll start at this corner. So you've got 3 layers. I've got the organza. Then I've got the Bondaweb in between. Then I've got the Solifleece. Okay. Now, I have seen another video of somebody else doing this, but I can't remember. There wasn't many that used the technique. I could the Vaseline people themselves, they've got one. So sorry, just Reggie barking. So you could always go and have a look at that. But you'll need an iron that can steam as well. Also a piece of oh gosh, I've got a felt mat and then a piece of this is baking parchment or greaseproof paper to put it on top. So you'll need it, like I say, you'll need those three things because that's how it gets activated. I'm going to take that ring off because I might get stuck. I'm just going to do little circles, just like, I won't put a knot in, just like Frogspawn. But I want to make them bigger than I think I'm going to need them because it's going to shrink it in. I'm going the wrong way, hold on. But, oh yes, forgot to say, I have got some little tiny seed beads in black for the little tadpole and some tweezers because I'm hoping that they will stay in. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I've not had a... Oh, Reggie, he's nuisance. Don't know what he's barking at. So I'm just going to stitch, just a run-in stitch, circle. Got no idea if this is going to work, but Marianne did hers with hand stitching and it seemed to work. So I've got, oh, I'm a twit, I should have started it there. I want to put a bead in before I close that up, so let's just move that pin out of the way. Grab a pin, grab a seed bead. I'm just going to lift the, oh gosh, can't do it. Lift the organza and slide it into that little circle. Let go. These are eyelash. Well, I had some eyelashes, and they work really well. Multi-purpose. So right, I've got one circle done, and I'm just going to carry on and do another. Well, I'm going to try and fill this whole piece of fabric up, which is not going to be a quick task, is it? So, as always, I will just do a couple and then I'll disappear off and do some more. I'm clanking. I hope you all enjoyed the seed packet page. If you've not seen that, by the way, it is in this playlist. Mustn't forget to put the seeds in. Not seeds. The tadpole egg. Are they an egg? Is it an egg? If you know, let me know. I've got no idea. I just know that I have a lot in my pond at the moment, but whether or not it survives, because we do have newts in there, and I know that they like little tadpoles. Looks like a pair of boobies. I'm not going to worry too much about these little triangular gaps. That'll all, hopefully, fingers crossed, that will all be hidden when I get the iron on it. Oh, just pop another one in, get rid of that. Put me over there. I love that little ring, but I will. Oops, don't. I will say is I do get things hooked up on it, but I do love it. It's great for this kind of thing when you just need a few. Already looks like Frogspawn, doesn't it? Just want it to make like bubbles, because I was going to put what do you call it, bubble wrap, but of course not got any. And then I thought, well, how am I getting the little black dot in it? So yeah, I'm off on my holidays. Actually, I might be on holiday by the time you're watching this. I'm not sure. I'm very confused because I'm trying to do a few so I don't worry about what I'm doing when I get there. Yeah, I'm confused as to where I am at. So like I'm just lifting the organza up, and I'm sliding the bead in. That doesn't want to do it, so that's it better. In there. Oh, go. Off you go. Yeah, so I'm a little bit, got no idea what day of the week I'm on. Because, of course, we've had Easter as well. Gertie hairs. Gosh. Reggie doesn't shed his hair because he's got a poodle in him. He's a border terrier crossed with a poodle, which is great. But blimey, Gertrude, if she gets on something, it's absolutely blooming covered in it. She's got a pillow in the window. I've got a window seat. Well, it's not. It's a blanket box in front of the window, but it's like a seat. It doubles up, and that's her little domain, as you can see, out of the window. She likes to go and sit on the window ledge outside, which it used to worry me, but she's been doing it for years and she's not come a cropper yet. Hopefully she won't. But I just have the window open just enough for her to get out, and it really bothers Reggie. He'd love to go and sit out there, but I don't think he's smart enough to not jump off the window ledge, and it's the first story. Let's get rid of you. Let's put another bead in. So yeah, it's just a little crack open, so Reggie can't get out, but Gertrude can, and she'll sit there all night long, watch him, and doing that chattery thing, that little when she sees birds. Right, I'm just going to finish that off, snip that off, and do another start again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go away. I'm going to cover this in my Frogspawn circles. But first of all, I'll finish it telling you why I got onto the window ledge, because the cushion is like a very pale lilac velvet, and the other day I thought, oh my gosh, what is that all over? And it's Gertrude's hair. I think she's shedding think it's she's coming in for a summer. Oh, oh look what I've done. I've not left a gap. So it was absolutely covered in Gertie's fur hair. Because this is all three same colour, I'm really struggling to see. There we go, it's in. Yeah, so I had to get the lint roller out. Then I had to wash it. Then I had to clean the washing machine because it was absolutely, honestly, never seen anything like it. So, yeah. I will go away. Now I've left you with that little tail. And I'll stitch my little Frogspawn circles. Who'd have thought I'd have been saying that? I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. All right, so I have finished stitching all my little circles for the Frogspawn, and I've put a bead in each one. I'm now waiting for the little. I've got my little mini iron on full steam, and I've got it on full heat. I'm just going to wait for it to heat up, and then we'll see what this does. I'm excited for this. So just a couple of minutes while the iron heats up. Another Gertrude here. I was thinking earlier, I thought, oh my gosh, some people don't like frogs, do they? In Frogspawn, they've got like a phobia. I know I've got a friend, Lindsay, and she has. So I apologise. I'm so sorry, but you know, I'll try and do a little warning in the intro when I do the intro. I'd not thought of that. Yeah, right. Iron's hot. So I'm led to believe that you don't put the iron onto the fabric, you just hover it over. So, oh, 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 hang on. What's happening here? I don't want to melt the organza. Right, where's that? Where's that? I'm just going to hold it down because can you see it shrinking up? Ooh. Oh my gosh, this looks good. Oh, no, I'm trying not to get too close. I'm not sure about. I don't want to burn it. I'm just going to turn it around with the. Can you see? Like shrinking it up. It's like those. Do you remember those? Oh, I used to call them shrinkles. Like a piece of. Like a piece of plastic. You used to draw on it and then put it in the oven. And we used to be able to do it with crisp bags years ago. But you used to be able to put them in the oven and they shrink to tiny, tiny little miniature versions of crisp bags. I'm trying not to get it too close to the. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Yeah, shrinkles. The only thing is, what it's doing is it's making. Now I understand why you've got to have your grease proof because the bonder web's sticking to the grease proof. Oh my, this is such fun. I don't really know how or why it's working. Does that disappear? Or does the bonder web just disappear? Doesn't seem to be disappearing, does it, that? Can you just see it? Oh, careful. I wonder if you can do it from this side. Oh. The beads seem to be, this does seem to disappear. So do you think my beads will... Try not to... I'm assuming that soluble... Is that going to stay in there? Yeah. Soluble fleece. You'd think it'd disappear, wouldn't you? Just keep going and see. Maybe I've not got the iron close enough. Has anybody used this before? Does anybody know whether that's what happens? Or do I drop it in some water? I'm trying not to get the iron too close because I know that that's going to... Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to have a little play on the corner there, see if that disappears with a spray of water. Oh, it does. So, I wonder if I go and wash that off now. I don't want to... I don't want to... The thing is, what I don't want to do is go and wash it off and all my beads drop out. I'd be devastated. But it is disappearing with the water. Ooh, sticky. I'm wondering if I hold it down. Yeah, I think it's meant to disappear. Right, so that's disappeared there. Let me just have a look. I'm sticky now. Look at my bead. See what that's doing. What are you doing, bead? Is this going to work or not? It seems to be. So I'm going to keep going. Oops. And see if this doesn't disappear. I think it should. Because I can't see. I don't know. But now I'm panicking, thinking, oh, I don't want my beads to go all over the place. Right. Do you know, I'm going to have a little play. I'm going to see if I can get rid of the backing, because I'm pretty sure that when the lady did the demo at the NEC, that backing disappeared. I'm 100%, but I can't think what the name of the company was, and I really want to go and have a look to see if it's on their website. Right. I'll be back. And it's either sink or swim, isn't it? Pardon the pun of the Frogspawn. Okay, so I carried on and it did take all the solifleece away, and I'm trying not to touch it because I want it to set, but it has stuck the beads to it. Full disclosure, it also did stick some to this because it's like got glue all over it now, but I popped them back in and it's okay, look. But I think what I'm going to do is, obviously I want to cut these out, but I'll leave it to cool. And then when I sew it down, I'll give it another little steam because I can see it's still got a little bit of the solifleece still there, so it'll probably just contract it up a bit. But I did go and have a little look on the Vaseline website and their YouTube version of it, and that is brilliant. So I will link that down in the description below. So yeah, I'm quite chuffed with that. I'm going to leave it to cool and set, and then we'll come back. Okay, so it's got cool, and I've started cutting out, and I have got a couple of escapees. But what I'm doing is I'm keeping it flat onto my bit of felt, and I'm moving it around just so it's moving the mat around rather than that, just to stabilize them a little bit. And yes, I am going to try and give it a little bit more steam when I stitch it on. So I'm quite happy with that, actually. I don't know where this one came from. Here somewhere, did it? I don't know. Could be anywhere. There. So I'll pop that back in there. But I found some well, this is polyester shot silk satin type thing, but it is polyester. Just going to give it a bit of a press because it's got a few creases in it. I'm just going to use this for my little pond. And I did wonder, have I not? I'm not switched on. Right. And I did wonder if I pop this on top and then fix it. Oh gosh. That's Bonder web. In fact, I can use that side and just pop it on that way. And that, we'll see. It's all new, isn't it? It's all new. Just seeing if it'll stick to it a little bit, just so I don't lose any more beads. So has it been a hit or triumph or whatever? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, not entirely sure. It is sticking to that lump. Do you know what? I don't think that's bad. What do you think? Oh, I could have cut that up a bit there. I might have to get some little scissors, skinny scissors, little dinky scissors in there. It's actually working. And by the time I've got some more bits and look at that. Actually, you know, that looks quite cool, doesn't it? I don't know whether you can see. Let me just see if I can give you some angles because it's fine. It looks like bubbles. Can you see? Actually looks a little bit like Frogspawn. I'm pleased with that. I'm absolutely thrilled with that. To say I had no idea what I was doing. I'm just going to give it a little bit more to see if it attaches itself better, which it seems to be. And I'll cut that off. I'll get some smaller scissors. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. I get a little pair of scissors and just cut that off. Let me get a little sharp pair. Super sharp pair. And snip that off because I want it to be rounded rather than just pull that off a bit. It's super glued down. Yeah, that's not, don't want to go anywhere, but oh, So, you know, we've got there in the end, haven't we? Get rid of that bit. We got there in the end. Maybe I should have done a bit more research before I started. But, you know, it's always the case. No plan. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to work on the pond bit on my page. So obviously I want to give it a bit of a shape. So I'm going to cut that out. Let's get rid of the mat. Whoops, that's the iron ball crashing down. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to just do a little trim because my pond isn't square really. Well, it is and it isn't. It is when it's just the former, but it's actually because of all the planting, tends to be a little bit more of a shape. Right. So that's me. And just to be, that's my number 1 page, and I'm on number 4, page number 4. Might have to make it a bit smaller. My pond a little bit smaller to fit in. Don't want that there. Maybe not. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to cut a little bit off. But we'll give it some fine tuning around the edges. More there. I want more there or more there. Cut off. Oh, actually, think we'll do it. We'll call that done. Just a little bit off there, and I will stitch that down. Rather a lot of frog spawn on there, but I'm not worried because it is about the frog spawn, not about the pond. And I'll do some edging, but I'm just going to go and get some threads and things to go around there. So I've been having a little sleep on this, and I don't know, it's something, this elongated shape, even though that's what my frog spawn looks like, they've kind of done it in a great big clump of long lengths. I don't know, there was something about it. Anyway, and then I thought, is it this background? Because my pond is a bit murky at the minute. It's early days. There's no, there are no plants growing. It's all a little bit meh. You know, the lily pads haven't formed. The edging plants are all ready for popping up, but they're not quite. Anyway, so I thought I'll dampen this down a bit with some watercolour. Yeah, I'm getting out the watercolours again. Just because I think it'll make this, it will make this fabric look a little bit better. A little bit more like my pond. You know, my pond doesn't look like the Caribbean. Oh, get a bit of brown in there. If you don't have watercolours, anything will do. I mean, these, like I say, that you might have some fabric that suits, or you might not be doing a pond or frog spawn, but hope you have a go. Just, you know, get out there and do your little part. And I'm just using my artistic license. and wetting down a bit. But yeah, that murky green is more like the colour of my pond out there. Try not to get it on there. So there's always options. If you choose something first up and you're like, don't like that at all, you can always alter it. I used to say to the kids at school, the students, your first draft is never the one that you're going to use, usually. Just going to do, just drop some colour in. Oh, no, that's gone a bit mad. But I never have a plan. And I envy, or do I envy? I don't know. These people that plan their work, and I've never been able to do it. Even as a teacher, I used to struggle with the planning. You had to do it. I used to struggle because it just didn't suit my style. Let's say that. And if those of you who are teachers out there, I'm sure you'll understand. It's like 99% planning and 1% teaching these days. Right, let me have a little look. I hope it's not too shadowy. And the sun's coming back out. It keeps going in and out. Right, that looks. And I'm just painting straight onto my desk. I don't mind. It's wipeable. That's better. And we'll see what it's like when it gets when it dries. Don't know where I was going with my conversation, by the way. I think it's just that the restrictions of teaching just did not suit me. Even though now when I'm teaching, I have the plan. I know what I'm doing. But I think it's because it's for my own kind of sanity, really, that my work is. It's not a. How can I explain? I loved teaching the kids. I loved it. It was great. But it's all the other things that came with it that weren't so great and began to make me ill. So, but now I teach when I want to, really, because I want. That sounds, I can't explain what I mean. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Right, I think I'm going to call it a day at that and let it dry out. Oh, my frogs, but I'm just going to let it sit on that and try and soak up some of that. I'll let it dry out. Yeah, don't know what I'm trying to say. I think it's the freeness of what I teach now rather than the restrictions of what I had to teach, even though I was in a creative DT, design technology. I was in a creative subject. It was still restrictive as to the curriculum. So you had to go along with, and I would often get pulled up by SLT that how tenuous the link was to the curriculum. So I think it's as you evolve through life, you're able to sit at peace more with yourself, aren't you? You're not trying to A, make money for your family, B, have to compete with everybody else. It's sort of now I kind of have that. It's okay. I've just got enough. Enough's suitable for me. So yeah, I've waffled about that. I'm going to stop now. I'm going to let that dry and we'll come back and see how I feel about it. Well, that's dried and I feel a little bit better about it now, but I still think it's a bit not quite right. So I am going to just add some bits and bobs, like floating on my pond. I don't know about you guys who have ponds. I always have duckweed, which can become very, very invasive. But that said, it's you know, I think it needs to stay. Oops. So I've got some threads already on my needles, which I'll use first, and I'm just going to do a few little teensy wincy French knots. I'll put a knot in that first though. I'm just going to do like little clusters. I'll do them closer because I'm round the edges on my page. Where's my page? And there's my page. I'll probably put some, I've got some of this lot. These are Wensleydale curls, which come from Wensleydale sheep. They're the ends of them, and they've just all dyed. I mean, it's even still got some twig in it. Naturally dyed. And I get these from, like, if I go to the wool gatherings or something like that. So yeah, I'll try and stick to this in a bit. Rather, I'm just going to come over here. I'll start inwards and work my way out. And I'm just going to do a couple of little wraps and a French knot. You could do seed stitch, but I feel like I did a lot of seed stitching on the last one. So I'm just going to do some little clusters because at the moment it's not very, I've not got much. I have to get a little fishing net, child's fishing net, and scoop it out. And what I do is I scoop it off the surface and pop it on the side. And I feel like I'm letting the little bugs and things, the aquatic creatures, crawl back and be putting back into the soil. I don't know whether I am or not. It's just in my head. That seems right. Pond actually needs a good sort out and a clean up, but we've got newts in there and they're there all winter, and I just feel like I've got no idea on how to deal with that, because ideally it needs to be bigger. Need a bigger pond, which would be beautiful, but it is very sludgy at the bottom. I know it is. And I've seen chemicals that you can put in, but I'm not a fan of that. I don't know. Let me know if you've got any tips. Let me know in the comments on pond maintenance, cleaning. I've not got a filter. I've not got a fountain. Usually, I've got lily pads and some marginal plants. But I don't, because the wildlife is still, I haven't got anything. I did used to have a pond pump, just a little trickle, but it gave up the ghost. And we used to have fish as well, but the heron, they just come and eat them, so I don't bother with that anymore. And like I say, the wildlife seems to have taken over. But any top tips, let me know. So I'm going to do some more, and I've got a few different colours on my needles already that I've been using, so I'm just going to use up what I've got. Excuse me, frog in my throat again. That's rather apt, isn't it? I'm just going to just scatter them around and about, and hopefully I'll feel better about this fabric. It's very I can't explain it. It's an old, well, it's not really an old pair of curtains. It's a pair of curtains that a lady I know works in a charity shop. The curtains weren't able to be sold because they've got paint on them. So, and they're like, and you know, masses of fabric on them, aren't the curtains? So she bundles things up for me that aren't able to be sold again, and then just brings it to me. And it's got like a velvety top tab and this satiny bottom bit, and I just use that. I'll just use it up on things in my scrap fabric bundles and things like that, because it is a beautiful colour, just not quite what I was looking for, was it? This needle is a bit long and I'm trying to do a French knot. Let's swap it out. Let's swap it out, because we don't want to waste thread, do we? Especially this is a silk. It's still a bit long. Anyway, I'll carry on, because if not, this video again is going to be epic. Alrighty, so I've done a few little stitches. I did come up and on the edges of my Frogspawn at some point because it was lifting, and I thought, right, I'll tack it down. So what I'm going to do now, oops, I am a bead missing there. I'm going to pop it onto my, and then I'm just going to put some stitches in just to hold it down. Just go through the back. And I've been doing loopy French knots. Just move across a bit because I seem to have wandered over there. Just to give it, you know, I'm just going with the flow, as they say. Nothing special. Because I'm going to add stuff around the edge. I found that, and I've found this, and I've got these. So we'll have a little look. We'll have a little play. I know it's not in proportion. I'm not worried about that. So I want to add some of this, and I might as well do it while I'm up here and just give it a bit of a tack. Couch down. What I've learned over the time of adding things in mixed media is not to overthink what I'm doing, because I tend to. Well, I used to tend to do that, and then I still do and then it starts to get, the object of the mindfulness starts to become a little bit fraught. So I just start stitching, start adding, and I found the more I add, the better, really. The more kind of free I get, the better it looks. And I don't mind if you can see the stitches. That's all part of it, because it's green. You're not gonna, And it's part of the pond edging. I'm trying not to put it down too tight. Put some extra branches in my made like a little bridge, and I've noticed that I've got a wren, and she keeps coming down now and having a little drink out of the pond. Just fallen branches that are around the garden. I've got like a little bit down the bottom of the garden that's got a few trees in. But I noticed that they were struggling to get into the pond area. Let's have a little look at that. No, not yet. So let's pop that on. So I've got Harvey to get these logs. And we made a little bridge. And the wrens, they just bob along in the little undergrowth. They're so adorable. And I always think of my granny when I see a wren. Always. She used to love them. And when I went to the NEC recently, I bought a gorgeous little bird's nest from a lady called Sue Bibby. Really, let me get it and show you. I know we're going off on a different tangent. Let me just try and so you're not in there. Do you see? It's beautiful, isn't it? And I fell in love with that. She did tell me what eggs there were, but I can't remember. But anyway, I was telling her I loved wrens, and she'd done a picture and it was blackbirds and one was blue tits. Have a look at her work, Sue Bibby. She's beautiful, and she'd not done one with a wren, and if she had have done, I'd have bought it. But she came along later and she'd made that for me. Isn't that beautiful? Little pincushion. I was blown away. Anyway. So I'm going to put some more stuff on. I'm very aware that some of these videos are quite long, so I'll just tack that down, and I'll add some more media, maybe a bit of this. This is art yarn, handspun yarns, craft weaving bundle, Weki wool. I don't know. I'm assuming that's like a kiwi, so kiwi. My friend brought it me from Wonderwool last year, and which I believe is on at the minute this weekend. So if you're there, enjoy, or you'll have seen this video. It will have been past by the time you see this video. I hope you enjoyed. Right, I'm going to put some bits on. Just try not to make it look like hair. I'm suddenly thinking, oh, this is a bit. But by the time I've got other bits on, yeah, it'll be fine. So I've got a basic outlining kind of thing going on here. Let me just pick my needle up, otherwise I'll stab myself with that for sure. And I don't know about you, but I've got all sorts of bits of rubbish and things, debris around my garden. I mean, that is great. Oh, probably not that bit, but that bit there. Oops, where are we? We're over here. That gnarled bit there, that is definitely going in somewhere. So I'll just start building up. I mean, Reggie, he's great for chewing up bits of I don't know why, but my camera seems to have, I think I've knocked it with my head. That's probably better. Yeah, he's great for chewing up bits of stick. So I could definitely put that in on the edge. So you see, you start to build up a bit of a picture of what, that's not a big enough needle, what you, what's going on. I'm just going to thread up like a fibery yarn. Did I cut a bit off? It's very hairy, is this? But it kind of adds to everything. I'll just put a knot in the end. And with these, they do start to deteriorate when you start pulling through fabric, but just a little, a short thread and a bigger needle. In my experience, if it goes through the cloth, it's going on. So I'm just, it is quite, I'm just going to do some big wraps and pop it back through. I don't mind if it knots up, it's not a big deal. But where's that bit of here? I want to sit that there. So I'm going to have to couch it down. Okay. But because this is like a fuzzy, it's starting, it looks a little bit like moss growing on it. So I'm just going to anchor it in. Again, you just have to use your artistic license. Up again over here. And if I come up again, I'll just do some like loopy loops between everything. And make it look a little bit less like sticks. A little less stitchy, if you like. So I look like I've covered that up a bit, but just stretch it out. I did put one in there, didn't I? That's where that's gone. Some big knots again. Because I'm just trying to soften this edge up. And you see, I don't want that showing. And this is a great time to, you know, all those threads that you pick up through different, or you get given. This is great for using those up. Right, I'm calling that done, that bit. Else have we got? I liked that gnarly bit, so I might just tuck that in and have it. I don't want to have it sticking up too much, otherwise my book won't close. Right, let's get rid of that bit. I think this is a bit of root. It doesn't want to cut. I don't want to cut it with my good scissors. There's another twisty bit there. I think it could go on. Probably a bit better. I mean, look at that. Maybe not that. Maybe that. Yes. Oops. I'm just going to get some more thread. This time we'll have a little bit of a woolly thread. Just a crewel wool by the looks of it, feels of it. Thicker needle, bigger needle. I'll just put you there a minute so I don't lose you. You're going here for sure. Let's anchor it down in the middle. If I can get through. Where are you? Oh, I'm trying to go through. Is that a... Go that way. And I don't mind that you can see the knot. I'm just wondering if this needle is not sharp enough. Let's have a look. It's not. It's let's change the needle. It's a crewel needle, and I want a sharp chenille to go through this. That's better. Which one's the end there? I'm just going to do a bit of a knot, a few loops round, a bit knotty, and again, not going. Didn't come down my needle enough then. Go through, pull, and then that'll have a little knot on the top as well. That is good. You can do like, I'll do a bullion styling knot. I think I've just broke that off. That's okay. Just to cover up some more bits. They don't have to be perfect, but if they're not perfect, it's better. I'm just trying to cover up this edge. Has to be loopy. Stitch. There we go. So I'm just going to add, I'm going to sort this bit out down the bottom. That might be a bit too bulky. I really liked that, but again, when the book's short, Is it going to? Oh yeah, it's quite. I've got a lot of pressure going on that. So I could do that there. And I've got one or two other bits. I don't want to overkill though. What happened to that one that I had? Oh, anyway. I think that might be enough. Might just stick a few in here, look. Just the thinner ones, but they can be. Just to make it look like the pond at the bottom of my garden, well, halfway down my garden at this moment in time. So I'll carry on. I'll come back when I've added a bit more. I just thought I'll just show you. This is some old tea bag. So's this, and I thought, right, I'm going to stick that around the edge, scrunch it up. I'm going to come in with. I've got a bit of 6-stranded cotton here, and just anchor it down. The only problem I've got now is it's gone a bit round. So I want to come in and do some. Oh, I'm doing French knots, but I'm doing them really loose. And don't worry that you're flattening your tea bag if you're going to use a tea bag. Don't pull too tight. I can scrunch it back up. I want to try and make it as naturalistic as I possibly can. I'm going to come back in with a stick here. Just anchor that down at that point there. And again over there. But I will hide my sticky stick bits, if you know what I mean. My stitchy sticks, because they're just, I don't want them straight because they'll look not natural. And also, they do look a little, I've chosen colours that kind of look a bit mossy, because I've got a lot of that going on around the edge of the pond. And if you loop your French knots, it kind of makes it look like that. And I'll just keep going till I run out of thread. Oh, pulled that out, pop it back in. I'll stitch it back down. Never mind, it's okay. We put it down a bit. I'll snap that off. There we go. That's great. I'll just do maybe down here as well. That's got a bit stuck in it, so I'll just add that in. And I'll pop a bit down there. I am putting a little bit of, from my Art, I've pulled out a few greens, so that's going on there as well. I'm just going to scrunch that in and make it go into the pond a little bit more. And just tack it down in any random way. And you'll notice I don't mind if my knot comes, if I start with my knot on top. It's not an issue. So just don't want that there. Packing it down, and I'm feeling a little bit better about what's going on in here now. Stretching it out. As I say, if you're not sure, just add a bit more. Add a bit more. Don't want that tea baggy bit to be too on view. You know, the crimped bit. Perhaps I could have got rid of that. Just randomly stitching now. Biggish stitches as well, not anything. But what I don't want to do is put it too far. Pull these too much. I feel like this is a bit of a not got anything going on in it, so I might just add a few more French knots. I need to think on that. Yeah, maybe I'll do some more French knots, but I think what I'll do, where's my thread gone, is I'll do them in some of that fuzzy wool that I had, wherever that went. What was it? Do we remember? It was that, wasn't it? That. Right, I'll get a bit of that going on my needle, and that'll look like the algae that's growing. Oh dear. Yeah, look at that. That's lovely. I shall do that and just finish this off. Let's try and finish my thread. There we go. And now stitch that down. Let's get a bit thicker, a bit bigger needle. Not you. Where are you? You. Better. With this being fuzzy wool or yarn, you want to have it at least, you want to have the eye of the needle at least as thick as the wool. Don't want to go through that. So it just stops it. Have I mentioned this already? Just stops it disintegrating, deteriorating too quickly. Come in there. I'm going to come in there and do some loopy loops. Needle there, don't want that in my work. Loopy loopy. Just a couple of loops. Back down and just make it a bit loopy. There we go, that's looking better already. I just felt like it was a bit too blank. There we go. What we're thinking. Oops. It's a bit like a. I'm going to call it done. Probably just come up there. She says. Just come up there. just to use this little bit of thread up and back down. And that is it. And it's caught up on that stick, but I don't mind. I might have just put something in there. And you know what? I'm calling that finished. Let's move that out of the way. Fold that over. My Frogspawn pond kind of thing, mixed media thing going on. Not for everybody, I know, but I'm happy. And why wouldn't I be? So happy stitching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, don't forget, give me the thumbs up. Give me some comments. Nice ones, please. And if you're new and you've not subscribed yet, please do. It really helps. Also, it is totally free. So I know subscription, it sometimes thinks like it's a paid thing, but it's not. It's totally free. And as I say, you'll get notifications of when I'm going to post another video. So happy stitching. See you all again soon in the next video.